I've been incredibly impressed by both of these players as of late. It'll be fun to watch them go up against each other. This particular series was played during the Esports World Cup, so the gloves are off. They want to be competing against each other for, well, hopefully the lion's share of $700,000. Sadly for them, though, we already know the results of the tournament in the end. Neither of them became the world champion this time around, although as this series was played, technically speaking, the man right over here in the top right-hand corner was still the reigning world champion. Playing with the blue SCVs, we're looking inside of the main base of Clem. His opponent down in the bottom left, playing with the red Zerg drones. He goes by the name of Solar. Now, look, rarely, if you ask StarCraft players, right, who's like your favorite pro gamer? Who's your favorite player in the entire game? Rarely does anybody say Solar. I ask this all the time at StarCraft 2 tournaments. If people come up to me, I always ask who they're cheering for. Never does anybody say Solar. But Solar he's one of the very best players in the world, man. Like, it's actually kind of strange how there are not more Solar fans out there. He managed to get into the top 4 this time around at the EWC. Clem made it into the top 8. Both of them would have loved to win the entire tournament. But Solar has been, like, steadily top 8, top 4 for years. I'm talking like a decade. And yet nobody ever seems to say Solar is my favorite player. He's been incredibly entertaining lately, too. Some very fun matches. Look, I'm just trying to make sure that everybody knows that Solar is a bit of a Chad. He also speaks perfect English, by the way. Which, you know, usually helps out quite a bit. I guess across the board, and that is one of his, like, you know, just playstyle choices. He just doesn't play a very spicy flavor of Zerg. He does mix it in from time to time, and lately more so than any time before, but he really doesn't generally play too, you know, spicy, no all-ins. Now, this is going to be a gasless start. Look at this. You wanted spice? This is like bell peppers level of spicy. So for a Dutch guy like myself, ooh, that's about the highest level of spice that I usually reach. Now, so this is I don't want to call it cheese, right? Because when you say cheese, it's usually aggressive cheese. This is a macro cheese in a way. If Clem would open up with a double barrack start with Mass Reaper, which he is known to do, Solar would be in a world of trouble. He doesn't have any gas. Well, he starts one up right now, but he doesn't have any way of finishing up Zergling speed within the next minute. He could be absolutely torn apart by a bunch of Reapers at this stage in the game, and already, little mind game here going in favor of the South Korean Zerg. I guess cheese is never spicy. Well, there are some spicy cheeses out there. Yeah. I'm a bit of a cheese expert. My favorite flavor of cheese is Protoss. Ooh, as we have the Reaper kicking in. Actually, fun fact. When I was young, my dad, for several years, was a door-to-door salesman of cheese. He, like, decided one day that he didn't want to do his, well, regular thing anymore, and he decided that he wanted to do something else entirely, and he just started this thing up. It's actually kind of nuts. He sold a lot of Dutch cheeses in particular, but we always had a lot of cheese growing up. Yeah. And still my favorite is Protoss. Protoss is, you know, there's just a unique flavor. It smells like, and it tastes like, you know, Terran tears. It's my favorite flavor. Anyway, there's your loco lore for the day. Creep Tumor is going to have to get destroyed because we need to be able to wall this in. Remember that game between a Rainer and Clem? It's the same Terran player as this one. Where Rainer had a Creep Tumor blocking his wall off, and because of that he lost the game. I think it was Rainer, if I recall correctly. He couldn't wall himself in because he accidentally, well, had a Creep Tumor in the location where a structure was meant to go. Alright. Lairdo coming up right now for Solar, who's really just trying to play defense. Taking a page out of the Protoss player's book. This is something Protoss players do in PvP. Usually it's to make sure that Adepts can't shade into the main base. Solar is doing the same thing right now to make sure that, I guess, Helions can't shade into the natural. Alrighty though, we've got ourselves the triple command center 111 right here for Clem, and he's adding on additional barracks. Let's see what we can do with this. Engineering base as well. No Cyclone shenanigans here just yet. Here's the Cloak Banshee, though, swooping in. And this will be the first time that Clem really is going to be able to get some damage on the board. Still, though, look at the worker count, right? Even with these losses, it's still extremely good for Solar. Well, losing 5 workers is suboptimal. In the meantime, the Helions... Wait, what? Did the doorman still sleep on the job? How did he get these Helions in? That's crazy. He just drove them in. Ay, 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 ay. Should we have a look? Did he just... I think he must have just right-clicked him. Where did the roaches go anyway? Don't tell me... Well, that's unfortunate. That he literally just drove in. He had the perfect defense until he thought, okay, there's really no way anymore that Clem is gonna test the waters. This is something actually that Clem consistently does. So Clem is the type of guy that has APM to spare. Must be nice. Most of us play StarCraft 2 and we're always APM limited, as in like our brains move faster than our hands can keep up. For Clem, it's the exact opposite. I'm pretty sure his fingers start itching when he doesn't micro all of his units at the same time in multiple control groups. And he's always testing, right? And it worked out really nicely for him this time around. Units that really weren't supposed to be particularly useful anymore got 10 kills. Well, I guess together with the Banshee, right? They got 10 kills in total. Better than nothing. Still, though, not the end of the world, right? Again, look at the worker count. Solar cut so many corners early on, delaying the link speed for forever. He is still not even getting it. Just going straight roaches, straight into Hydras, straight into Hive. Even though he sure would have liked to avoid losing 10 drones there, he's already gotten away with greed. And greed is good. That's what I've been told anyways. Speaking of greed, check out my Patreon. Patreon.com/LurkerTV. Thank you to the... Alright, anyways, Lurker Den coming up right now. Infestation Pit is already done, of course, and we will be seeing an Infestor added into the mix. Armory on the back of this, though, so Clem can go straight into the 2-2 upgrades. Solar decides to knock down the rocks a little bit. Sometimes it might be nice to get some additional movement, especially when you have an Infestor for fungal growth. This Infestor would love to get a nice little fungal off, but not the case for now. It's a 4th command center here for Clem, so not really messing around with the 8-Rex all-in that a lot of Terran players are very fond of. Clem actually rarely seems to go for an 8-Rex all-in. I find it very interesting how, like, the absolute top-of-the-line players seem to have differing opinions of everybody right below that. So, for example, most Zerg players avoid late game against Protoss like the plague, and Serral's like, no, let's do a little bit of late game. And it's the same for Clem here. Most Terran players out there absolutely love playing the triple command center 8-Rex all-in. Clem rarely mixes it in. Clem's like, nah, I prefer having a 4th command center here, and then I will add on my additional barracks. But we turn it into a macro game. I think it's mostly because of Lurkers. Lurkers are just an absolute pain to play against. Solar obviously is trying to go into Lurkers here and then probably a Nidus network. It means that Clem is going to have to start playing Nidus Whack-A-Mole. And most Terrans don't like that game. It's been defense, defense, defense the entire way through so far for Solar. And while it hasn't been flawless, it's been good enough. Lurkers are coming up right now. And obviously, if you go for an 8-Rex all-in, you can push before those Lurkers are out. So that's the big difference. You can actually get across the map without those Lurkers being a giant pain just yet. Still, though, the Lurker count is low. It's only 5 of them, and they don't have all their upgrades yet. Roaches over here are getting absolutely distracted, too. Clem's saying, yo, I don't need a... I can do an 8-Rex all-in off of 5 barracks. Fungal? Fungal could be scary, though. That is not a bad fungal at all. Terran players notoriously bad at counting. Yeah, I think they can do an 8-Rex all-in with 5 barracks. That's not how numbers work. Anyways, that was a good enough defense for Solar in the end. It took a bit, but, you know, he's got the bases going. And I believe that it'll be difficult for Clem to now shut down one of them. Fungal, no energy available. Oh, all right. Well, now you're dead. Congratulations. Nidus network on the back it is, though. Ooh, lurkers. Oh my god, he's trying to go in. He's trying to do the Beyond. I don't like doing the Beyond very much. No. No, Beyond has inspired many Terrans in the world to stim into lurkers. And, I don't recommend it. No. Sometimes if you have a really good micro, you can sort of dodge the spines and prevent most of the splash of the lurkers. But if you mess up for even just a moment, you lose everything. These drones are gonna need personal bodyguards in order to mine, but the lurkers are here. And they can sit there inside of the mineral line. In the meantime, though, a nice little Zergling run by over here, too. Looks like Clem has got his bases locked up good enough. And I don't think a single SCV, maybe one, ended up dying there. Push over here as well around the back. Not bad. Okay, so the waters have been tested. Clem is now going to be the defensive player. Oh, Hydras maybe playing themselves into a bit of a corner. Overextension here by Solar for sure. Zergling run by Doe on the left may justify it, and so can that Nidus push inside of the main. Suddenly Solar is here, but, well, Clem at least is winning the fight in the right side of the map. This is a real problem, though, and this is what Terran players exactly are trying to avoid. This is so freaking hard. How do you clear this out, right? One of the big benefits for Zerg is that this is like Nidus Worm, unload Nidus Worm, burrow lurkers. It's very few actions in order to pull this exact move off. But for a Terran player to defend against it, it takes like 20 times more actions. You need to scan, you need to get your army in position, you need to reset your rally points, and in the meantime, of course, Solar is then using his excess amount of APM to do some multitasking too. Eventually, the lurkers get cleaned out. But at what cost? 17 SCVs have died over at the third, and at this point, honestly, the command center itself may end up going down. Not bad. Solar, though, has taken a lot of losses, too. Even though he's sitting at 87 drones, he's kind of poor. Not exactly sure why. I guess it's just been all the effective trading that Clem has been doing throughout this game. Yeah. There is a new base, though, for those workers to be mining. In the meantime, there is the Zergling run by still on the left side, dealing a bit of damage and really frustrating the Terran more so than anything else. You had to remake the Ghost Academy. Clem did pick up on that. That's good. Really difficult to fight those lurkers without ghosts. He does kill the base, though. What about this push over here at the bottom? Widowmine? Ooh, that Widowmine could be juicy. Ooh, nice splitty there as well by Solar at the last possible second. No lurkers available for defense right now, it looks like. And you know what? If there are no lurkers available, getting another hatchery kill could be really big. Okay, suddenly Zerg has been knocked down to just 4 bases. Obviously, the drones will remain. But this is going to shut down the gas income quite a lot, especially here for Solar. Solar's going to have a difficult time remaking the lurkers that he's lost. And that will suit Clem just fine. Nice little bit of stutter step micro here, trying to pop the Banelings more so than anything else. Concussive shells making it difficult too for those units to actually catch up. Marines and Marauders and Ghost, though, doing a pretty good job, but the Hydras, their DPS is not to be underestimated. What about the push over here? Clem sneaking out a single medevac through all of the Zerg defenses, and that's a lovely little move. Zergling run by, though, and a handful of lurkers that were produced have now arrived again over at the third. Those Widow Mines getting some good hits in. All of this is buying time. Looks like the new command center tried to go on over towards the third base location. Not going to be successful, but I'm sure he'll get another shot here in just a moment. And so far, these two are incredibly evenly matched. Now, if Solar can just get a little bit of time to breathe, this game should come his way, right? Like, he's got 84 workers over 56. He's got all the upgrades he needs. He found himself into a position now where Terran is kind of still stuck on 4 bases. I think if Solar can chill, and sometimes the best way to chill is to be very active. If he can force the Terran player to chill, might be a better way to put it. he should be able to, yeah, grab a significant lead here. And these little SCV run-bys are great. Okay, Widowmine getting a good bit of damage done. Looks like another hatchery did go down over there. Difficult for the Zerg to prevent that, but it's still a 50 supply lead. And again, Solar is sending the Lurkers around the site. Ghosts are going to be needed at home. Nidus Worm as a retreat path this time around. I love that there's a single Lurker here left behind. It's going to make it difficult for Clem to run in and, well, just snipe all of these units. In the meantime, we have the army moving towards the right side, going after that newly made base. Lurker slither away through the Nidus network. Now a Nidus goes up into the main base too. GG gets cold as Solar swarms his way to victory. Next up, we find ourselves on Ultralisk. Great game right there by Solar. Hard to really criticize any of it, right? I mean, obviously there were, in isolation, loads of little things that could have gone better. But across the board, he outplayed Clem in a straight-up macro game. And that is not something that a lot of people get to say. Now, of course, a lot of that early game lead was driven off of him skipping that Zergling speed upgrade. So he decided to go straight triple hatch, gasless start, straight into roaches. He effectively had no defense at all if his opponent would have gone for any sort of early game aggression. This time around, he did go for the Zergling speed. It's still a fast third hatchery. Clem apparently decided not to go for the double barracks opener on the low ground, which I find kind of interesting. Would have been a perfect map to go ahead and do so. This map, though, is 8 Rex territory, right? Like, this is where Terran players 8 Rex more so than anywhere else. Mostly because Zergs like taking this expansion over here. Terrans like to take this expansion over here. And even though you're not quite next door neighbors, the distance to cover is extremely short. So let's see. I feel like I've seen a lot of games on Ultralisk. This map is very popular. Let me see. Ultralisk Liquipedia. What is the overall win-loss ratio? By the way, we have Clem playing Terran mech. Additional factory coming up. All right. That's why he didn't go for a double Rex. So even though this map is very popular, it has, at the tournament level, a 59% advantage for Terran going up against Zerg. That's a lot. I think it's mostly because of those 8 Rex pushes. Then again, the tournament level... Look, not to be a jerk to other pro gamers out there, but these guys are like, you know, upper echelons of the tournament level. Most everybody can technically sign up to play in a tournament, right? And, oh, Brenda decided to fight Karen over here. I think a lot of Zergs are dying to 8 Rexes on this map, and that's what's swaying those statistics a little bit. Shouldn't be something that that Solar struggles against all too much. Now, this is not going to be an 8 Rex. It might be an 8 Factory. Maybe we need a new name for that. We have an 8 Rex and an 8 Fax. I don't know if I can say that. The automatic YouTube system might flag that as a bad word. It's like a fax machine, okay? Don't demonetize me, YouTube. I'm old, even though I've never sent a fax in my life. I think I could figure it out. I think you punch in the number and then you put in the paper. Or maybe you put in the paper first and then you punch in the number. I don't know. Anyway. Solar knows, though, at this point, that there are indeed going to be a lot more mechanical units. Nice little barbecue right here from Clem. If Clem invites you to a barbecue, be careful. It might be drones, although, you know what? They're probably tasty. Plus, you could feed a family for a month. Like, a single drone? Look at this thing. It's like a lobster the size of a house. Anyways. We're going to start locking on the Overlords for now. Double upgrades, though, are coming up. Double upgrades, that is, for the mechanical units. The Blue Flame and the Lock-On. Reinforcing Zerglings are going to be needed at home. Yeah, these little Ling run-bys are not bad, though. Especially if you can kill a Cyclone. There we go. Cyclones are quite expensive. Mag Field Accelerator. Infernal Pre-Igniter. We're gonna begin the dance. And this is the dance that Solar and many Zerg players hate. Solar especially, though. He tweeted about it. He posted on Twitter that he hates playing against this style. And whether or not Blizzard could please go ahead and fix it. And Blizzard was like, lol, no. Or actually, this is what Blizzard actually sounded like when they saw that tweet. Yeah, they said nothing. There was no response. Anyways, Helions going in. Trying their very best. Roasting as many drones as possible. 12 workers is not bad. Okay, make it 14. The main problem here, of course, is that this aggression from Clem is going to be layered up, right? He's going to continuously be the aggressor. And Solar is not really in a position to now remake those workers very easily. Instead, oh, he's even turning this into an all-in. Okay. I find this very ambitious, but maybe. He does have roach speed done. He does have Zergling speed done as well. I think Cyclones are going to destroy this. 9 SCVs, though, do go down. Maybe Cyclone... I mean, I find the Cyclone always difficult to gauge, right? Like, you look at these fights. Oh, nice surround here by Solar. I mean, by far, best case scenario for him as he snatches a lot of those Cyclones with the reinforcing squad. A lot of fights in StarCraft 2 I look at and I'm like, oh yeah, I can definitely, with like a 90% certainty, say who's likely going to be winning the fight. But with Cyclones, it's like, sometimes you think the Cyclones are going to lose and sometimes they absolutely destroy. And other times it's the exact opposite scenario. That was about the best case scenario though for Solar, right? Like having those Cyclones back up into the arms of the reinforcing roaches is really, really, really good for him. Clem now takes a tremendous amount of losses. Still though, reinforcing Cyclones are popping out of their factories. And again, their little lock-on ability is shorter in cooldown than it should be. As time goes on in these fights, I think it's gonna get better and better and better. Like the more lock-ons Clem gets, the better it'll be for him. Helions are just here for supplemental damage and to tank some as well. Good control right there on the Cyclones too. Wow, I think that's a bit of a rage quit. Solar taps out while being ahead in supply. Look, I don't really like the way that this fight is going either. Don't get me wrong. But this certainly could have been a little bit, I think the GG could have been a little bit delayed. Now, I think that game was going to turn into a Terran win, assuming time would go on for another couple minutes. Don't get me wrong. My main concern right there for Solar is that looking at that game, right, it paints a very clear picture that he does not want to play against Cyclones. He's been very vocal about, well, that being a bit of a sore spot for him. And if I was Clem here, I would lean into that. Maybe that's because I'm a bad person, but I would lean into that for sure. If you know that's where it hurts, maybe keep pushing. Maybe keep pressing in the sore spot. See how it goes. Clem is a very nice guy, though. He's a very honorable Terran player, too. He doesn't play Cyclones as much as some of these other guys are out there, but, I mean... maybe he does it because he doesn't need to. Okay, it's going to be a hatch into a spawning pool again. Gasless opener here for Solar. Similar to what we had in the first game of the series, he is going to try and get away with a little bit of greed. Not a double barrack start, though, for Clem again. So what are the reasons that Zergs go for the gasless opener in a best of 5 series and a best of 7 series especially? Is because with the gasless opener, you're kind of like saying to your opponent, hey, if you would have gone for a double wreck start, I would have lost, haha. So you're very likely to then play against a double barracks opener in the next game, or at the very least in one of the next games. And if you're playing against a double barracks opener, at the very least you're not playing against mech. You're at the very least not going up against Cyclones. Solar, though, so far, not getting his wishes in that department. Clem is not giving him a double barracks opener. Even though it's something he mixes in from time to time, He does not feel the need to go ahead and use it. Instead, we're going to go for a little bit of a patrol dance. Fair enough. Third hatchery, though, should still start up before the Reaper can get here, and Clem knows it. Good movement here by Solar, though. Gets the job done, and a little bit of lost mining time on the SCV. I would love to see Clem, like, mix up the early game a little bit more frequently. Clem really isn't somebody that, like, mixes up the early game very much. It's his tried and true strategy. Yeah. Triple command center, Helion Banshee. I think in Clem's mind, he is mixing it up big time when he's going Helion into, like, I don't know, a Liberator or something. That's like Clem on a crazy day. Clem on a crazy day swaps out his like coffee for tea instead. It's like, whoa, Clem, calm down. That's crazy, dude. What are you doing right now? You're drinking tea instead of coffee? What? Are you a madman, Clem? No, he just loves this build, right? It's very good. He'll probably add on a tech lab here in just a moment. And we'll probably see good old Helion Banshee in just a second. Roach Warren in the meantime, though, on the other side of the map. Let's see how much work we can put in here. It's a very ambitious project here for the Reaper to try and kill a hatchery. Mostly just to keep the Zerg player occupied. Oh no. Not again, not again, not again! It's a gasless opener, of course, for Solar, so he does not have link speed. It takes 3 Helions to one-shot drones. So all of this is messy. Oh. I mean, 2 Helions for 6 drones? Make it 7 now in the main base too, but the Reaper getting scoring a few kills here. Oh no. Oh no. This is a major skill check right here from Clem, and one that Solar should be passing. Yes, it's easy to mess up, but this is another downside, of course, of skipping link speed. Believe it or not, when you skip link speed until later, you don't have link speed. I know. I know, it's a crazy concept. At least there's no drones to lose over at the third, because you've already lost them earlier, so that's convenient. It means that the Helions can't really get additional damage done. Now Zergling speed, though, is just about to finish. Still, oh, great roasting here by Clem. Oh, Clem. This is the Terran dream right over here in this particular game. When Terran players go to sleep at night, in Clem's case, that's about 5 a.m. He's got the strangest sleeping schedule, I'm pretty sure, of any pro gamer out there. Anyways, when Terran players go to sleep at night, this is what they dream of. They dream of drone barbecues. 14 workers, just like that. Basically for units that were not really meant to stay around for much longer anyways. This is now forcing Solar into can I call it pathetic? Yeah, a bit of a pathetic Roach Ravager Ling all-in. Sorry, buddy, there's Banshees. At least there's no Helions available over here, I guess, to roast the Lings. SCVs clump up together on top of the ramp. Let's see how much damage they can deal, though. These Zerglings and these Roaches, that is. Yeah, not enough. He already recognizes it. Perfect game here for Clem. Next up, we find ourselves on torches. And for some reason, Solar has decided to move to the base in the far bottom left as his third. Okay, now this is the map, of course, with the skinny golden mineral wall right over here. He is mining that one out right now. Clem is scouting around. He's gonna see whether or not the mineral fields here have been mined out in just a moment. Yeah, he takes the hatch. What an odd place. Technically super easy for Clem to attack. The problem is, it's so odd that Clem is not likely to be checking for a third base in the far bottom left. This is also the map, of course, where Zerg players sometimes go for the quick gold over here, sometimes even for the quick gold over there. We've seen Solar do that in some of his games too, kind of fun, but it's also a map where Zerg players every once in a while go 2-base lair. So they go very quick lair rather than like play a quick third. And Clem may get a bit of a misread here. Now, of course, triple command center Helion Banshee is really good against everything. So I don't think his threat is going to change too much. But it is important that he does not, you know, go without this knowledge for too long. Because Zerg can just straight up overwhelm him. If Clem decides to play too defensively because he's expecting some sort of all-in. Nice denial right there by Solar. Yeah, Clem could very well be assuming right now that this is going to be a super fast lair. Not the case at all. I think Solar's just playing a macro game. What a strange base. Little Zergling run by. Really just a scout. Trying to see what's happening. Wow. He's dead, but he did see the third command center there, so at least that's some information. That will be quite useful. Hey, it's a barracks coming up right here for Clem. So not bothering around with mech this time around, even though technically he's kind of given a free pass for it. Again, though, this could also be because Clem has not seen a third base. This is like the warm woolen socks, right, of the Terran. It's just a very comfortable style to play. If you're not sure what the opponent is going for, maybe they're doing something weird with like a very quick lair or whatever. Playing Terran mech is kind of dangerous, so maybe just play bio instead. I don't think Clem really needs a lot of excuse, though, to play bio. But at least he's not going to have the option anymore now to play full Terran mech. And I guess that will suit Solar just fine. Maybe that's why we're hiding a base. Alright, Lair's just about to finish already. Still no roach, or Zergling speed rather. Obviously no roach speed yet either. Fourth hatchery starts up. Yeah, Solar's actually is playing a big macro game, and I think Clem is putting him on an all-in right now. He's checking out the right side of the map, making sure that there's no golden base that's being mined over here, but Clem is really not sure what's happening. Now, through the process of elimination, he might be able to figure out now that there is indeed a fourth base somewhere, or a third base even, somewhere out there. But it's all a little bit weird, right? Like, he's trying to piece the puzzle together. You're always dealing with incomplete information. Cloak Banshee, though, does show up. A little sloppy here by Solar. There should have certainly been an Overseer nearby. Looks like we're just maximizing damage. Okay. One of the Banshees does die immediately. He now sees the timing of this base, still does not know where the third is. There's no way anymore that he assumes that the third base is this one, right? That seems like it just doesn't line up anymore. All the timings are out of whack. Looks like the Orbital Command actually decides to go home. No, Clem still believes that this is a two-base start here from Solar. It's the perfect story told right here by the Zerg. All you have to do is take your fourth as your third. Technically, it's pretty dumb. It's one of those moves that can work out as a 20 IQ play, but in this particular instance, it is indeed 200. We've seen this before, back in the day. Back when cannon rushes, and especially that Haas style, was very popular. Zerg players decided to not take their natural expansion as their very first base anymore, but they started taking the third. So, say for example, Protoss would go for a cannon rush, they would have to choose between killing the hatchery and controlling the main base's ramp. If you take the third, you don't get that luxury. This is a similar approach here from Solar, obviously about 10 years down the line as far as the meta goes, but I quite like it. Yeah, Solar is just able to out-macro the Terran here as time goes on, although obviously it's not like this advantage is super big. Clem can just play the macro game on the back of this, but his armory is now a little bit late, and you can tell that he is thrown off. Solar's going to be able to go up towards a hive. Zergling speed will probably have a Lurker then, or maybe at least... Oh, we could go Ultras as well. Yeah, I don't mind Ultras. Now he finds the base. He's finally figured it out. All of the puzzle pieces come together, but Clem would have liked to figure this out 5 minutes ago rather than right now. Still, you have to be able to make the best out of this situation right now. I quite like the Ultras here. Obviously, Clem doesn't really have the economy that he could have had. Fungal. Yep, nice Fungal. Woo. Fungal is one of the Medivacs, making it impossible for those Marines and Marauders to get picked up. Not bad. With this kind of setup, Terran can't really go into Ghosts as easily. They can't really go into Liberators as easily. All of the Terran's tech has been slowed down. And that means that the Ultras probably have like an additional minute of a timing window to deal real damage. Very clever play here by Solar, actually. Ultras coming up. Chitinous plating started up. +2 armor is going to finish up right around the same time as the chitinous plating will, so those Ultras will have a big power spike. Clem's still sort of thinking about testing the waters, but what he really needs is a 4th base and a planetary fortress at it, and then a Ghost Academy ASAP. We really need to get the Ghost Academy going here. There it is. Yeah, you can see that Terran has been slowed down a lot. For the first minute or two that those Ultras are going to be oppressive, there will not be a Ghost count that can really compete with them. So let's see if Solar can use that as an opportunity. Now, the mineral fields weren't completely mined out yet. He sees the Ultras now, though. Should be able to fire up some Ghost production immediately. Marauders are still good. Look at the creep spread, though, from Solar, too. Doing a great job in that department. Widowmine in the mineral line. Planetary fortress as well. Difficult choke to push through. Siege tank numbers are still good, though, and we are soon going to have 15 Marauders. 15 Marauders is not bad, and it looks like a little medevac group did move out, completely unscouted on the left side of the map. Clem apparently now has got a taste for blood as he, well, hunts down the 3rd base of the Zerg player too. 2 bases? Yep. Expensive. I think Solar is going to go. I don't think Solar is going to sit behind this wall any longer. Oh my god, are we going to push through this choke, Solar? I don't think so. That sounds like a terrible idea. Maybe go up this way instead. Yeah, this is a Zerg player who's been hurt a few times too many, I think. He wants to move up that ramp really badly, but his army is split up. Good denial, though, by Clem. Building up the depot in that choke point right now, too, to make it pretty impossible. Matter of fact, Drop may have been heading towards the healing shrine here, but double expanding here for Solar is likely going to be his next goal. Hydra Den on the back of this too. Maybe a Lurker Den eventually. Just Hydras alone, though. Hydroling Bane Ultra. Really good. Okay. Oh. Yikes. That Spore Crawler didn't move. You had already seen that Spore Crawler, but I don't think it moved anyways. All right, Clem trying to see if he can navigate this into a more comfortable state. Going into additional command centers, building up the soon-to-be ranged upgrade for the Liberators, maybe the Medevac Energy regen upgrade too. All of those things are in the future, but if he's given enough time, he will be able to get there, and that's exactly what he's aiming for right now. Big Zergling run by Doe, running straight at the siege tanks. He decides to deflect the attack. In the meantime, though, Banelings are also rolling together with the leftover roaches from the early game towards the army there in the natural expansion. Okay, Ultras are getting destroyed, but the rest of the army is putting in quite a bit of work. Clem playing a very dangerous game here. Oh my god, he's taking this base? No way, Clem. We're taking the base over here on the right? Clem, you absolute madman. Solar doesn't know about it. Oh, he does know about it. He's just not been able to address it. Looks like the push over here in the natural has been deflected too. New Ultras are just about to pop. Solar's bank, though, from this whole early game situation is still looking really, really nice. Planetary Fortress is going to finish up in just a moment. We have an alternative Planetary Fortress as well, a little bit closer to home. Solar, this game is starting to slip out of your fingers, dude. And with it, obviously, the series. We need to get something done here soon if you want to stay alive. I love this Planetary Fortress positioning so much. It's so incredibly mean. It's so dirty. I don't know if it's good, but I love it. Army here of Terran, though, kind of in an awkward spot. He does target down the Infestor, so that's something. In the meantime, the natural expansion also gets overwhelmed. 28 SCVs have died, and now suddenly, the Ultras do go through this tight choke point. It's a dangerous play, but it's another deleted planetary fortress. Liberators show up, but the Ultras have already passed through, and corrosive balls are raining onto the libs. There is another planetary fortress to fall back to, but I think we should probably split off some units. Yeah, go after the mineral line over there. 44 SCVs have gone down, and I don't think Solar is done just yet. This game didn't work out the way he had it intended, but I think it's working out good enough. Okay. Very odd game. Very strange match. Ultimately, though, as the dust settles now, I think Solar is making himself up for the death push, right? He's got 197 supply versus 107. Zerglings alone are working away at that planetary. I think you can go. Pretty sure Solar can A-move. Yeah. GG. And that means it all comes down to this. Final game in this best of 5 series. We find ourselves on Maganatha, and now finally Clem decides to go for the double barracks opener. This is something Solar has been trying to bait out the entire time. Only just now is when Clem decides to play it. And luckily here for Solar, he did go for the quick Zergling speed start. Well, I mean, he didn't go for it yet, but he's going to. Spoiler alert. I've seen enough games of StarCraft to tell you where this is gonna go. We're gonna mine 100 gas, and we'll probably pull out. Some StarCraft players never pull out. No? Yeah, Solar does. Alright, link speed coming in. And we're gonna dance. We can dance if we want to. We can leave this world behind. Brenda's gonna be here. Don't you worry, little Zerglings. Factory on the back of this. Command center on the low ground. How much damage can we do with this early game? Well, it's only 3 Reapers, right? 3 Reapers is really not that bad. If you can just use these units to slow down the Zerg, that's all you really aim for. Now, we are going to continue to dance for now. He knows that link speed is going to finish up in about 15, 20, 30 seconds. If you can snipe the drone, that would be big. Okay. Solar does sneak out the 3rd base, and that will work out for him. In the meantime, though, we've got the command centers building on the other side of the map. Factory on the back of this. The main downside of this build is that it makes you quite predictable as Terran, so you don't open up with a double barrack start and then transition towards mech or whatever. Usually, actually, even getting Helions going from here is quite odd. Usually, Terrans will follow it up with quick Stimpak and all the rest of it. But we are going to see some Helions roaming the map, and I quite like this actually here from Clem. This is like a more modern iteration of this particular build. Sometimes we see benchy follow-ups too, but it feels kind of unnatural, you know? When you start off with a Reaper build, it just is so easy to go into Stimpak, start producing Marines 3 at a time, add a factory, add a starport, make a reactor on the factory, switch it over with the starport, start pumping out Medivacs 2 at a time, and bada bing, bada boom, you can transition towards Marine drops. Clem now going for like a hybrid version of the build. So he is going for a 2-on-1. So 2 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport. But he's still adding in additional units here with, well, the Helions and now also even a Liberator. Okay. I quite like this. Ooh. I don't know, man. I was gonna say, that worked out previously in the previous game, or that worked out perfectly in the previous games, but driving the Helions into a base that has speedylings in it is not so easily done. Well, I guess the driving in part is easy. It's the driving out part, I guess, that's the problem, right? Okay. Lair is about halfway done right now for Solar. Interesting take, by the way, for the third base location. Normally, it's pretty much always right over here. Overlord shows up. And the Overlord is going to scout the Liberator. Perfect positioning on by Solar, who's now going to have a few roaches chasing all of this around. Transfusion on the roach. Yep, nicely done. Liberator has been pushed around for a while, and so far Solar is looking powerful. We're all the way up to, well, now nearly 66 workers. 66 is how many you need for a base. Solar is going 67 and then maybe add on an additional structure. That's exactly what he does. So he's going to have more than enough. He can take some extra gases here in a moment. And Clem's early game plan to try and slow down the Zerg has failed. Zerg has not really been slowed down in any stage here, so... Slowed down. I've been told many times that slowed down is incorrect English. Although I feel like it should be correct. Anyway. 1-1 upgrades for Clem. Helions on the right side of the map too, and this time around there's nothing to protect. Run away, little drones. Run away. All right. 6 workers go down. Push over here as well over at the 4th. Clem layering on the aggression again. And this is something Clem does better than any other Terran. Small advantage here for Terran now. Still though, he's going to try and come back for more. A little bit greedy maybe. Solar still just had his army parked right over there. What about this push here? Through the natural expansion. Also a little bit greedy. Important here for Clem to not get carried away. Clem wants to win this series right here, right now, but he needs to be more patient. You are not going to win these games by throwing away units, hoping for the best. 1-1 upgrades, by the way, here for the Zerg. Infestors coming up. We have a Hive now also building and a Baneling nest. So we'll probably go +2 armor with melee upgrades, if I were to make a guess. Double expansion in the meantime for Solar. A little bit greedy for him, but he feels like he needs to catch up in some department. Again, not an 8-Rex push. Perfect opportunity to go for an 8-Rex push, but difficult map, I guess, to do it on. And again, it's not really Clem's cup of tea. It's not really what he likes to do. Brenda's big toe was inside of that circle, so she got liberated. Armory at the perfect timing. 1-1 is finishing up, and he's going to be able to go straight into 2-2. Baneling speed gets queued up. No Lurker den though, so this will be into Ultras. I think it'll be quite difficult for Solar to actually reliably get Ultras going. Fungal growths are going to be critical, and so far Clem dodges it. Very important to be dodging. Maybe more importantly though, now at this point he knows, right? Dangerous medevac drop though, into the main base. I don't know if he's going to be able to stick around here for very long. He knows the infestors are going to be here very, very soon. In the meantime, there is also a push as well on the left side. Yep, okay, fungal growth do indeed connect with some of those units, but it's not bad here for Clem. Surprisingly working out really nicely for him here. I thought most of those units would go down. What about the push over here on the left? Clem has stepped his foot on the gas again. He's even thinking about just targeting down the base itself. He'll probably be able to come back for more in just a moment. Big push over here, though, through the middle. One of the medevacs does go down. Siege tank production has kicked in here as he's slow pushing his way towards that 4th. Solar desperately trying to get those Banelings going, right? I mean, the Hydra den is nice, but I don't think we really need Hydras here. I think we need Banelings. He starts up some of them right now. I think he's going Hydras because he wants some form of anti-air. And the Queens have been getting massacred left, right, and center. Push at the front looking pretty decent right now for Solar. Getting rid of one of the siege tanks, but in the meantime, he may very well be losing a hatchery to just 4 Marines. Clem sticking around with this tiny little hit squad of units for such a long time and actually getting good value out of them too. Clem is a little too fast. Let's do a bit of first-person view as we have 506 APM. Clem is a little bit too fast. His strategies are a little bit too good. His macro is too powerful. Right now, the floodgates have been opened, and Clem is starting to out-macro the Zerg pretty heavily. The fungal growths are good, but when there's no follow-up, the fungals don't matter, so Clem purposely staying his ground there. He could have pre-split against those units, but he decided not to, and that is all he needed to do. What a way to go out here for Clem in the final series, or the final game of this particular series, right? I mean, just winning it in the most Clem-like way possible. So this effectively started with the Liberator and the Helion group getting a bit of value, and then he immediately like layers up the aggression. It's so easy to just like accidentally lose to a Zergling run-by at that point. But if Zerg does not get any damage done on the other side of the map, Clem just always seems to run away with the victory. Well done.